Welcome to the Roy Anthony and Friends Show. Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They rock to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap in.
before we gotta
Tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
Come on and kick it with us.
his ass because a horse got a big ass. And I got on and I put my Jordans in the stirrups. And we went moseying. Moseying is a cowboy term. That means going about your business, but slowly. Beautiful skies, sunshine. The clickety clocks are making me want to do old school lyrics and shit. Woke up quick at about.
Sorry for the technicalities. We up there had a sorry, thank you, Richard. What it do? Hoping y'all can hear me. This is Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast. Richard told me no sound. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on. Probably the way I had it fixed up. Never know. Want to say welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast, along with my co-stars Big Hank Norman, Miss Cynthia Joy Towner. We represent the WO platform, which was created by military veterans, which one of our the lead veteran, head producer Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, along with the co-creator Goose. And then we have our associate producers, Blue Phoenix, Ethan Daly, our good friends and neighbors, the BB Nation back with veterans. That's veterans based out of Oregon. Then we got the Long Beach All-Stars, which is veterans and non-veterans based out of Long Beach, Watts, Linwood, and Compton. And then there's the comedy vets. I also want to give a shout out to the comedy vets, then the WO Entertainment family and the Wholesome, along with our own personal family, friends, associates, and those who don't like us. Unfortunately, today is our last show, end of the 10th season. Last show with the WO Entertainment. The WO Entertainment is disbanding in I think the second week of November. And so one chapter closes, we have to start on some new chapters. And just want to give a shout out to everyone who has been watching our shows. You can still go on my YouTube or Richie WO's Entertainment YouTube. I don't know if WO we have it. I know you can go to Richie King Facebook, but you can go to Roy Anthony's YouTube and watch a lot of all the previous shows. You know, we have over the Roy Anthony Show podcast with Big Hank and Cynthia Joy. She came in like half mid-season because we've had 10 seasons, which each season we accounted up for 12 to 14 weeks, sometimes 16, 18 weeks. We started with the WO in 2020. We steadfast, keep it going, right? There's been a lot of scales. There's been times where we had people that came on our show that we won't be able to have on our show again. I was trying to see if I could share the screen, but I don't know if anybody could hear. I had some excerpts of some of our comedy shows. I mean, some of the Roy Anthony Show podcasts, like I have my boy Todd Food Panda, and then we had D Militant, and now I'm concerned because the volume won't be, it seemed not to be working from the other port. So I'm not even going to take that chance to try to bring it in and have a lot of silence. Like I said, once again, this is our last show. We're different ones has been talking to us. We're keeping the options open. I know that whatever, Richie King would like to do, Roy Anthony is down with him. But as you know that I also have, getting really busy, and we had some announcements. And now everybody know you can watch the Roy Anthony's live weekly stand-up comedy show, which is shown on Cluster TV. You see it on there. You can go to Cluster TV or go clustertv.com, put it all together, and you will see the whole Roy Anthony show. Do you want that real stand-up comedy? Then watch Roy Anthony's weekly stand-up comedy show, featuring comedians from all over the country, seasoned comics, up-and-coming comics, performing live in Los Angeles. Produced by Roy Anthony, Where's My Grill, Big Hank, Long Beach Players. Promoted by Navigator, Media One. Come on, USA, let's get our laugh on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I got one of my he became a regular and stuff, and now his at the end of the last season and stuff. I got to bring my brother up. What's up with you, Carl Loomis?
Oh, not a whole lot, buddy. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, you got it, man. Now I see the sunlights around you, but I also thought I seen some frost coming out your mouth while you was talking. Is it cold?
It is 40. I think it's only supposed to get up to 47, but we had some white stuff on the ground already this morning. It did a little sprinkle. Little
See,
sprinkle.
see, I'm not envious of that. I don't like snow at all. So, met a lady on the phone. She was, I was talking to her, getting something set up with Spectrum, and all of a sudden she was like, they was talking about a group of blacks was going to go and try out skiing. And so I was like, good luck with that.
It is, this morning I woke up this morning and there was a little bit of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Just very light dusting.
Okay.
And then it was doing, it's supposed to do its little snow showers all day today.
Okay. Well, at least you know what you get. You can go in the shelter and look out for that Monday.
I will. And I'm gonna
tracking number to let you know you'll be. But I'm so hyped. I wish that I can tell, but I probably say it on Facebook of what I'm gonna show, right? What I sent. It's cool. I thought it was cool. I'm a bachelor, and so I sent a wedding gift, y'all. And I know what it is. I ain't let no one know what it is.
We're super stoked.
My publicists and stuff. And but you know what? This is our last show of the WO. Oh, look crazy. How that it's the last show of the WO. For the Roy Anthony. Now, I think Richie King, their show will still be going on for about 2 or 3 more weeks before the last one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send him a picture so they can show it on his show, because I may show up down there at their studio again.
And today I have the wife with me.
Hey, Miss Caitlin, how you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
It's good to see y'all together. Look at the picture. Look, everyone. I gotta show this. You gotta stay on right quick, Miss Caitlin, because I gotta do this. This is a beautiful couple, y'all, that I've been talking about who got married. I got to show the picture of them together right there. Right there. Congratulations still once again. They still honeymoons.
No, that stage is over. It goes right back to the normal, buddy of mine.
He told me, Carl, him and his wife was together for 52 years.
Really?
And this is what he told me. He said, man, I treated every day like it was our first day of our honeymoon. That's what he told me. Even when she was mad, he said, I know you mad at me. I just want to say, hey, I'm happy with you and everything. You feel me?
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine tell me that if you get hey, it's Richie who's commenting.
Hey, CNC.
I had a buddy of mine tell me that if you get married and what was that he said, if you get married and it changes a relationship, then you got married for the wrong reasons. If you have a relationship and it's a long period of time and you get married and nothing changes, then you got married for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been together for 7 years and it's had its rocky paths, but 7 years is a long time and it's had its ups and downs, and it gets better with age, they say, like fine wine.
Well, you said 7 years. 7 years. You said 7 years is a long time. Now you talking to somebody who's been trying to make it past 2. I'm hearing these 30 and 40 years and stuff. That sounds like a long time. Sound like 7 years is still kind of fresh.
Yeah, my parents have been married since 1967, so they're going on like 57 years or so.
50, 56, 57 years. Yeah, because they just had their anniversary.
No, their anniversary is December 8th.
Richie said about damn time.
Yeah. That's funny because if we didn't have these podcasts and these charters and stuff like that, we probably never would have met each other. If we would have met each other at the wrong period of time, because I met her on BV Nation when we were in the old studio before we went live. No, we had videos. We had video then.
Yeah.
And she's actually a friend of J-Dub's and knew High Tech. And yeah, that's how we ended up meeting, and we ended up just staying together. I mean, like I said, it's been up and down and left and right and over some serious rocks, and we've been able to make it thus far. So,
But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm glad you're saying that, because it goes with one of the subjects that I'm hitting on different subjects today. And one of the things Frederick Douglass said was, without struggles, there is no progress.
right.
You don't know who is there for you unless you're going through something and see that they still standing there with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There was some. I want to play this. Since y'all both are here, I want to play this. This to me seemed like it was.
Let me tell you something that will change your life if you let it sink in. Every single day you stay in your comfort zone, you're getting weaker. The human mind and body are not designed to be comfortable. They're designed to grow, adapt, and thrive under pressure. Comfort is a slow death, a prison that will keep you mediocre forever. You have to learn to embrace the pain, the fear, and the uncertainty. That's where all the growth happens. Successful people live in discomfort. They make peace with the struggle because they understand that their future self depends on how much they're willing to endure today. When was the last time you did something that scared the hell out of you? If you can't answer that, you're not growing, you're not pushing hard enough. Get uncomfortable, get scared, get aggressive. Your comfort zone has no place in the life of a high performer.
That's 100% true.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We all have our different struggles right now. Getting off of that, Miss Caitlin's on. Matter of fact, there was some messages for y'all. They said, Richard King said y'all good people. Yeah, we all know that. There's been a consensus. For real, you got homies down in Long Beach and in Compton's knowing about Carl Loomis and his wife, Kate. Trust that. For real. Bump it down like, yeah, you feel me? Hi, everyone, pretty wife, Carl Loomis. That was Starlet Evans and stuff. Okay, switching over to politics right quick. Now, y'all know I can be swayed.
Yep.
And I really got deeper. And when I got deeper, like, okay, when I say deeper, I didn't just do with the shallow where, it seemed like it's basics, because everyone knows I'm a stomp believer that we need to exercise that part of the Constitution that this government fails us. But until then, we had to take advantage of our vote. Now, one of the things, as it was all, I believe that if I was a politician, I would push that as Americans, anyone who makes under 100,000 shouldn't have to pay taxes. We should be tax exempt. It seemed like the rich people is pushing farther to not pay tax. I was looking at Elon Musk gave $26 million because he's hoping that he don't have to pay taxes. How much taxes are they talking about taking from you, bro?
Right. A large amount.
Man, this man is investing in other countries. He got other countries. His salary is not based on just ours, bro.
Yeah.
He got other countries. He's the main communication between Russia and Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So what I feel is that when as general public people, we shouldn't be allowed to have where a corporation head can put so much money, so whatever he got to say has more to say than we as the general public people, right? That's why I feel that the Senate, like Just Me said that the Senate was supposed to be based on the representatives of of us homes, right? I mean, of us public people. Now I'm getting to a point when I'm saying about I don't know why this phone is over here ringing. Excuse me for a second.
I must be in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then he left the message. We want to hear this one. Okay. All right. That was my brother calling to tell my mother that he loves her, but she usually had the phone upstairs. So, okay. I can be swayed. So sometimes I hear with Trump, and sometimes I don't like the divisive talk or leaning towards corporations. But me being a citizen under California, under this Kamala Harris, I've this was before she went into being a vice president.
Mhm.
It's already opposed of anything she was doing at the time, right? Um, Richie said, make sure you vote the right governor in your state. That's what's important. And we was talking about that. That's very important.
Very.
Sometimes it's concentrated on the big picture as the president, but sometimes that's a smokescreen going to the people we are dealing with. Prosecuting attorneys are to be voted in. Governors, assembly, mayors. We have to know their whole agenda. Just because some of our friends, we don't pay attention to them as much as we pay attention to the presidency. And these people is looking right in our faces on a more closer scale than we can with the presence. I don't even think I want the president to come to my house because Secret Service is gonna come a week before and stop everybody coming around, and I can't let little Junior and them come through there. They might have warrants. You feel me? I don't want them to go through all that.
Sure.
Let me just come out to your spot. But the mayor and them, you might go to the same church. Now, why I'm saying that is because the major election is November the 5th. I got accepted to do early voting, but I'm still undecided. So I want to see what some of the homies had to say, right? Like some of the brothers and stuff. Man, I was shocked. I was shocked because somebody thinks that we're pushing Mr. Johnny, or if I might not saying it correctly, where we're thinking about, oh, I'm a man, she's a woman, I ain't no woman. We're not thinking like that. Because my mama raised us, Miss Caitlin, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't thinking like that, but we're actually looking at politics because from former President Barack Obama, and I'm not saying I voted for him for the first 4 years because he was black. And I did think about reparations, but that didn't happen. So the next 4 years I voted because Mitt Romney really didn't have a plan. So I had to go with Barack Obama, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now a lot of people don't understand. I voted for George W. Bush, the junior. I voted for him. He messed up on. I was loving my vote for him until he messed up with going to the Iraqi war. Now to the modern time, look, it ain't about if it's a male or a woman in this fight. It's not about, and I don't like they try to say that President Trump is playing the race card, but no, I see a lot of the race card being pulled for them because former President Barack Obama just sounded like President Joe Biden the other day. If you vote for her, if you don't vote for Kamala, you ain't black. Wait a minute, bro. I'm more black and knowing what's going on in this U.S. than you have. I'm trying to figure out why do we got to deal with the blacks that have something questionable about their heritage. Why you can't grab me or Leroy or somebody who's actually from this nation? Why we got to question who your family members are? Why all of a sudden, and then when we talk about now, it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is proof, and I heard this from Eddie Griffin, that some lady did call in Springfield about somebody who was eating the cat and dog, but they wasn't from Haitian, but they was, you know what I'm saying? Because a Haitian looked like me, unless I get to talking, you wouldn't know. If I was like, hey, but you'd be like, yo, he's dark as Roy, but he's from Bolivia. Right? That's what they're gonna say. As Richard is like, boy, he's dark. He remind me, my mother would say, ooh, he's darker than you, Roy. That's what my mother was. But until I get to talking, you wouldn't know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Looking at it. Gatorade, H2O, Gatorade, H2O. Look. Okay. So I'm looking. Then I'm looking at, some of the people like, oh man, some of my family members who ain't never been, who knows Kamala, but they stout Democrats. Just like some people's households are stout Republicans. So I'm listening and looking. But then I'm like, the facts, Miss Kamala, is that as a black man, you put 1,500 of us in jail for marijuana cases, and we couldn't get exonerated. And you like, you know, so I'm trying to be, because I seen former President Donald Trump exonerate some cats. So I'm kind of confused, you know. Now
A little on the fence, right?
yeah, and so I'm, you know, it's like, wow, everybody has their pros and their cons, right? So
Right.
there's a philosopher that I listen to. His name is Dr. Umar. Now, I never really play him. I listen to Farrakhan, even though I'm not Islamic. I listen to Roland Martin, Dr. Martin Luther King's son. I do listen to some of the ones I don't like I did used to listen to Carson Tucker. That's how I can build up a character. I listen to hours of him.
That's your dad's favorite one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
her
okay.
dad's favorite.
So, but Carson Tucker sometimes is biased because it seemed like he defended the Russians more than American people, and I get offense to that. See, I have a problem when you side with other people against Americans. Now, I do get picky on that. You side with Russia or Kim Jong-un, I'm not disrespecting them, but don't give them no love, and you don't show. That's why I got mad about this helping Ukrainians and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I get upset with that. Don't look at that, because, and I'm gonna bring that subject up. Wait a minute, before I play this video from Dr. Umar, I'm glad you said that, Katie, because look, when they talked about illegal immigrants, the first thing we think about is the border with the Latinos.
Right.
But then when they brought up illegal immigrants, I don't like when all of a sudden there's bombing threats to kids in Springfield, Illinois. But then I didn't like when they say illegal immigrants, we don't show the real pictures, because the Ukrainians, when Russia raided Ukraine, we let 217,000 illegal immigrants of Ukrainians come in here, where I found that most of them is the ones who know how to cook meth, make meth, and fentanyl.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't selling them.
Nope.
Yeah, they weren't families. They was all like young prime age men that, you know, it's just like, okay, so if we're going to help another country out and you're going to bring them over here, which we're already in kind of turmoil, you're going to just do men versus that are military aged and young versus the families that are the core of what
you know why they doing it. And I figured out, I'm like, why is there so much of a talk about the migrant, you know, immigrants? Well, I found out that this was shocking to me. I'm just digging in deep. I'm like the one when the one guy say, hey, follow the rabbit, you follow the trail, you go to the rabbit hole. He said, I listen to Paul Harvey. Good day. That's what Richie said. Okay, look. When I found out that there was an administration push from President Joe Biden to have over 5 million migrants here within the next 2 years, I said 5 million? What we need all them migrants for? And then I found out because they want to get them to be able to vote.
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay, so then it flipped to me to when, as a citizen of the state of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the Republican governor there, allowed all illegal immigrants to still be able to get a driver's license. That's why they making us change our license starting July of 2025 to what they call a real license.
Yeah, the real ID.
You got to take your birth certificate in there to get a real ID.
Yep.
I
have
because
one.
We gave a lot of illegal immigrants allowed the chances to more wrecks happen when we had, because if you go down to Mexico, now saying their traffic is different. They don't have red light, green light, yellow lights. They have you go and stop as you can.
The star.
Yeah, so my wife was digging out her deal right here, and you know, this is Oregon's real ID. They have that little star on there.
You got to have your birth certificate to get it. Am I correct?
Yep.
You have to pay for it. To take your old driver's license to get it replaced. You got to take your birth certificate now Just like
Well,
when I
You
got
can't
TSA
travel without
pre-check.
it too. It's
they're
it's like the passport of.
it's
I
like
mean,
it becomes basically your passport, right? And
Exactly.
they decided to change all that. Oh crap! Something free me for
Because you
dinner.
can't
We could
fly. You
sit.
can't fly domestically no more now. Without
No.
that,
yeah.
starting
Yep.
Yeah.
July of next year, you will not be able to fly Spirit, none of these planes without the real ID.
You know, and something you said earlier too about how you were saying that most people, when they think about the immigrants, they think about the Mexican Texas border.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's people that don't really know what's really going on within the world like you and I do.
Yeah.
And, because like when this whole thing, I mean, BB Nation, when we were on BB Nation, we were literally sitting in studio when they broke war over there. Right. And people started evacuating the country over there and coming over here. And so I guess when they talk about the border control, I know that it's coming in from,
More than
I know that they're coming in just from, I know they're coming in from more than just Mexico. I know that they're coming in from Ukraine. There's Russians over here. There's Afghanians over here. There's Mexicans up here.
Hey,
Well, you're
So-
not blinded and you do your research.
You're not blinded.
Hey,
I'm
Carl,
not blinded.
check this out, bro. I brought this up about 2 months ago about how I was finding out reports
hmm
down there at the border, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people was feeling like, why it's different? They was letting Ukrainians and Africans in
Yeah.
through, because when I've gone to Mexico and you see a big long line and stuff, right?
hmm
To get back into America, they told me, they looked in the car with me and they said, oh, you take this express lane. For real. They told me, look, we're in the express lane and it was only one car. I was able to drive right out of Mexico, right? So then before you get in a little bit past San Diego County, they have the federal stops. And the federal stops was constantly taking their flashlight, making people pull to the side. He joker saw me, said, oh, no, you keep it going. We for real. So Africans was coming in through that way. But Ukrainians come now. President Biden said he was allowing 100,000 parts of the UN to come in, but we end up with 117,000 that came through the border, through the southern border. So I said, wait a minute, who are we dealing with? When I found out that they wanted over 5 million Europeans, look, to come almost in the next 4 years, over 5 million Europeans that comes over here. And then what they can do is they can call, like if they get in trouble, they can run to their embassy, which keeps them away. Yeah. But I was trying to figure out, what do like some of my brothers feel, right? I'm gonna play this. This tripped me out. I gotta play this.
Listen, the bottom line is when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he's not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The 2 blackest cities in America. They're the 2 largest cities in America. They're the 2 most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls. Replace us at the low end industry jobs, right? See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it. I was reading a report the other day. They said the Latinos taking over the construction jobs.
They taking them over. And the low industry work, like your gardening, your landscaping, completely taking it over. They're not the enemy. The problem is black people don't get as much opportunity. So then people say, well, white people don't really like brown people like that. That's true. But you know what the difference is? They don't have the burden of accountability with them that they have with us. We built the country. So every time they look at us to deal with us, the bottom line is y'all brought them here and they built y'all into what y'all are. They don't have to say that to the Venezuelans. They don't have to say that to the Colombians. They don't have to say that to the Mexicans. So although they don't like brown, they will much rather deal with them than the black, because with the black, there is a white man's burden that you owe them restitution for 246 years of unpaid labor. Now let's look at what Eric Adams is doing over there in New York. A family of four is getting.
Ooh, that gets deep.
He was getting in it, man. He was digging.
He was leaning too.
He was putting his heels in, man. He was on it.
Leaning to look. I got some other ones, another video, but I said I'm not going to play them because this dude is from the deep hood and they ain't talking in the nice words, but they was explaining why they was going with Trump, and I was surprised,
right?
Because they broke out some facts.
He's 100%. He's 100% right about the Latinos coming in here and taking over the jobs, dude. You can't look around this area right now. It's like when I was working for Tier 1 over on 162nd. We were doing all the dig outs for all this development, this land development, to do these dig outs for all these homes and stuff, right? So we were doing all the grading, all the correct, dude. There were Latinos a swarm that area. The Browns, the brown guys were swarming the area, from building the houses to roofing the houses to doing the driveway.
But see, somebody has to give them that job, though, Carl. Somebody
has to give them that job.
Yeah, and they can go in there and say, "Hey, you can pay me this, and I'll do it and faster and because it's cheaper labor versus seeing the value in what is."
I wish they held themselves to a higher standard.
But their household has an infrastructure that's different from the way we do ours.
Right.
See, what I've learned from the Latino families is that when they bring in, you ever seen where it was like 4 or 5 families living in one house? What I found that they would do is everybody who doesn't get a regular job, you got to at least bring $20 in.
Right.
That's why they would sell corn, flowers, incense, oranges. They do anything that you'll see them, because the goal is everyone has to bring in $20. So I seen a family of 14 in the house. If the kids weren't in school, everybody, because one of the fellas explained it to me, everybody in the house, if you don't get a regular job, you got to bring in at least $20, the minimum, a day. If you have to sell corn or whatever, don't come back unless you bring, because now if you got 14 people in the house bringing $20 a day, that's how much?
It's a good amount of money.
That's 200, to my understanding, that's 14 is 5 makes 20. That's $280, right? Okay, so $280 per day times 7. So what a bank does, so next thing you know, guess what they did? They say, okay, we're going to take our money and go buy some lawn care equipment. And they're going to cut that grass, because when you see somebody else's grass all cut, you're like, wow, who cut your grass? Now, why they work so low is because they're willing to sacrifice their livelihoods, where if you, like right now, you may be staying with your in-laws, but once you get your funds, you're going to want to move into another house, right?
Right.
Instead of just saying, you know what, let's stick it in here and let's buy a community of homes, because your kids is going to need a home eventually when they get older.
Yeah.
And they think like that, where we think of once you get 18, get your butt out this house.
And I'm not saying that I'm against them for whatever reason. Some of my really good friends around here are actually of Hispanics, and but I mean, it's just he wasn't lying about that. They're taking him away from the blacks to give them to other people that have a lower standard and a lower like you said, a lower expectations.
But see, it's not just when they say like he'll say, okay, taken from the blacks to go, because remember I said they give a felony Let's go back to where they give a felony to anyone.
Right.
Right now, you're looking at a felony charge,
Yep.
right?
And I got updates on that too.
Now, guess what? The state of California would do. They would say, even though you ain't had your thing in charge, pending felony charge of whatever the case is. You feel me?
Yeah.
So when they run a report,
It's
a
known against.
background check on you right now, it states that this is pending.
Sometimes.
Now-
I kind of talked to my mom about that last night. My mom was a paralegal for 13 years, and she said sometimes that won't even be on background stuff until it's been. Yeah.
But they've been in California, they've been instrumenting that.
Right.
Now look here. Now, what I'm saying is, so then here you get your felony. As a felon, you can't vote.
Nope.
You don't understand, Carl. You around, let's say 40, 50 different people, leaders who is making enough money so they can hoop up their cars so they can come down there with you, right? Their trucks
Right.
and all that, right? These are people with leaders because you got to be responsible to make money, right? And because how many people you meet saying, "Oh, I can't wait to be able to have a truck or a car so I can fix it up," right?
Right.
Okay, so look here. So if you got so many different people and they all making money, that means that they tax-paying people. Now you can sway them a certain way. You can talk to them a certain way. This is why you under persecution, man. Don't you know that they see that, hey, so if you get a felony, you can't vote.
Yeah.
Remember, I had the show about, man, for real. They was throwing felonies on black men for anything. I've been talking about it. No child, not paying child support. That's a felony.
Yep.
It's a low felony. Whenever you got to do prison time, I consider a felony. They don't throw people in prison for misdemeanors. It's called a low scale felony, misdemeanors.
Well, they're also not really throwing people in for felonies either. I mean, if they are, they're only in there for a week at a time.
But
you
see, that
know,
could be jail. But when you throw them into a prison, that's when your whole makeshift livelihood is based upon the state.
right.
That's recorded because that's how they give you. They get money from each individual. They got control of their social security number
Right.
in this group. So then this person can't vote. But if we bring in 100 people and they feel like, okay, you come from a country, let's picture ourselves in the shoes of a migrant coming up here from Venezuela. Okay, so we get up here and they said, President Biden allowed you to come in the country. Who you gonna show your love for? If you get a chance to vote, who you gonna vote for?
Yeah, I understand that.
The one who you love because you felt that you got freedom.
Right.
Man, I can be swayed, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Roy. It sounds like you're kind of on the fence, dude, with all these facts that are coming to life.
I've been on the fence. This is the thing. And I don't like being on the fence, but I know. Can't drive for no one.
Yeah, I get it.
I went through this in 2016, and because I knew some stuff about Hillary Clinton that I knew I wasn't voting for her.
Right.
But I didn't vote for Donald Trump neither. I wrote in Bernie Sanders, which I was surprised he did. He was the one who originated about making cannabis legal, but you know, he was an alternate. I'm looking at some of the alternates, and the alternates is leaning towards somebody. They're not independent minded thinkers.
Yeah.
If we was really serious, we need to take our friends and family and put an independent on the pole and really stick with them. Like when Richard King was talking about running for presidency.
Right.
We really need to not take it as a joke and really got together around the US and put you feel me?
Oh, yeah.
And it can happen because we the people. I'm feeling like this is how we do it. We get one of our open independent in who's not a Democrat or Republican, like myself, you know, because if I was running for presidency, I'm gonna tell you, first thing I'm gonna do is look out for the American people. They say, what do you want to do? I'm looking out for the American people. Those who's making under $100,000. I am pushing for you to stop having to pay extra taxes for Medicare and income taxes, period.
Right.
If you're making over 100,000, we're gonna have tax breaks. If you're a multi-billionaire, we're not gonna mess with your money like that. We're not gonna expect you to pay the Queen's taxes over there in England. We're about to nip that in the bud. We're not owing you nothing else no more, England. Them days is over with. You've already caused problems with causing racism and prejudice and all that. That's from the cores of Europe. We're not playing that over here. Second, we're going to want to strengthen our borders and still build up a connection where you can't just come across a lake. We got to stop that. You come in here, fill out your paper form and stuff. We will have little cabins out there until your number's called and stuff. If you've been traveling for 3 days, we got a cabin for you to sleep and everything until your number's called. We're not putting you in no concentration camps. If you don't like the conditions, you can go back home and we will give us your phone number. We will call you to let you know your number's been called. You know, because we got to do a background check on people.
Right.
We got kids here. And I ain't talking about just for Latinos and Venezuelans. I'm talking about for Ukrainians. I'm talking about from those from UK and coming back and forth.
All of them. Yeah. All of them.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, guess what? You don't have a real license, real ID. You need to go through this international channel. If you're trying to find, because I'm gonna tell you, you know where it got bad at is when back in the days when I was a kid, it was something with the Olympics, and they was dealing with the Latinos then trying to come across the border, but the Russians want to claim asylum here during Olympics. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
They want to claim I guess they can claim asylum or something like
asylum.
that.
Yeah, they can claim asylum. Yeah,
right. And that got out of hand.
It did. It got way out of hand. I remember that. I think there was an influx of what, like 50,000 during that time.
Well, at the time, because I look at it like it was okay with the Russians. I think it was like 5 or 10 people, but then it was the Laotians. When the Laotians came in, I was in high school. And next thing you know, it was a whole bunch of Laotians in our neighborhoods. They was the ones who started the swap meets and all that. The Laotians look like Chinese people. We found out Laotians. All of a sudden, you know, I live in an all-black neighborhood, and all of a sudden there's an Asian guy. They said, "Whoa, that Asian guy must be strong to want to move down here." So what we're looking at is what? Now, I was gonna play this guy, but I'm not gonna do that. I want to play this guy so bad, but I'm not gonna do that. But since Big Hank isn't here, since this is our last show of the WO Entertainment, one thing we have in common is that we believe in God.
That's right.
Jesus is real. These human politics is human being stuff.
Mm-hmm.
God don't care. He told the people, you really don't even need a king. You just need me. And I tell you how to get along with each other. And he gave us basic instructions before leaving earth. That's why I call the Bible the basic instructions before leaving earth. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, and it keeps on living. But Jesus is real. Big Hank isn't here, but I want to play that video of his, if y'all mind.
No, go for it.
Real.
Dude.
Let me play this, bro.
What's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Dick. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Hey, listen, we want to know if we can shoot a video here at the churches I know.
Is it going to glorify God?
Of course,
All right.
of course. Now, is there anything we can or cannot do at the church?
As long as you recognize that Jesus is real, it's all good.
I got you, man. We're going to make sure that happens.
All right.
Yo, man, something's going on in front of the church.
What's that? What happened?
Yeah, man, my Jesus is real, man. I'm gonna tell you what he brought me through. Yeah. Jesus is real, sincere with the gratitude. I used to be the dude walking around with the attitude. Now I'ma keep it real, tell you just what he brought me through. Been shot 5 times and they thought they had got me too. Now I can take it back to my days on Figueroa. When I had them on the streets, man, I had them on the corner. Came up and bought a house and I moved out to Corona. From the package I was slinging all the way to Arizona. Now Jesus is real, he done brought me through it all. And took a couple lows, I done took a couple falls. That even hit the pen, me mugging through them halls. And just to get the child, I had to walk you through the fall. Now I can tell you more, and it's all gonna be real. The only way I'm here is, man, I had to take the deal. Now I can take my time and I can tell you how I feel. My Jesus is the only way, I got to keep it real.
Jesus is real. Jesus is real.
This for Ricky Harris. I was born with a bad hand. A bad man didn't know about it back then. God's plan, I once attempted suicide. It didn't work, then it had to be a reason, cause his grace gave me work. I done been on my deathbed. Gunshots, couldn't see the devil coming cause my mind's on rock. On my way to doing life for a bag and a murder. Seen the tears in my baby's eyes. She was hurt, so I got on my face and begging God for his favor. I heard the homies laughing, so I prayed with my neighbor. I done enough dirt in the streets and I don't really wanna deal with the soul that I reap. Ricky Harris said it all one night at the church. Me and Hank both smiled, not knowing it would hurt. I called the homie home, but I never forget that man. Blessed me in the church and the Deaf Comedy Jam.
Jesus is real. Jesus is real.
Feeling I was untouchable, I stayed fitted to get it. Yeah, like Heathcliff Huxtable. Cruising down the street in my 6'4". I walked the edge of the razor in pursuit of my dough. I was ruthless, I kept it rocking to the right side. My son had to eat, so ain't a thing I won't try. This lifestyle I lived, it led to prison and back. I was feeling persecuted, yeah, like John the Baptist. My mama used to ask me, boy, when you gon' quit it? At the same time praying for me, hoping I get it. My soul was heavy burden, I was short on faith. One night I heard the voice of God and I saw his son's face. I started praying for myself and got strong in the Lord, and now I reap a better harvest, way bigger than before. I wear the armor of the Father, ain't no need for a gun, cause I'm protected by the blood, cause now I'm walking with his son.
Jesus is real. Jesus is real.
What's up with you, Mike? What's going on?
What's up, Big Hank?
Man, I can't call it, man.
What's happening with you, homie?
Everything good, man. You remember the testimony night?
Man, that night with Ricky Harris at that church.
Man, that still on my mind heavy, man.
That blessed me, homie. When I seen y'all pull off, homie, I was just like, man, it just seemed like he was an angel already, man. He said God is real.
That's what he did say, God is real. Yeah.
Man, look what we got in the house.
Oh, what's up, Big Hank?
What's up, Carl? What's up, Roy?
How much, man?
You got a big bro, man. And you know what? I want to announce to everybody, it's my deepest apologies. I always telling people to watch Big Hank's Bible studies, and he's having it on Tuesdays at this same time. And that's why he has been coming in late or sometimes can't make it, because he's doing God's work first. You know, and you can still catch it on Wednesdays. And so, and I knew I was going to let the show go a little bit longer because I was hoping he comes in. But this is because this is our last show with the WO platform with this. But Big Hank does the Bible studies on Tuesdays, and then they show it on Wednesdays. And I should have announced that one. But we was bringing this video up because I said if he was here and stuff, you know, we were just talking about this, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
You know, you sometimes you gotta go back and look at the beginning part because, and like everyone say, me and Big Hank got over 300-something episodes just on this WO platform. We was together for a season in Santa Ana when we was first getting into it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make up a thing. I'm gonna be putting them on Facebook because I got shorts. I was looking at some and I tried to play them earlier, but there was no volume with Deep Militant, the one that we had with Deep Militant, then the one with Typhoon. Rest in peace for these brothers. Big Hank has been losing different ones that he had been growing up with. I've seen some of your stuff lately on Facebook, and you know what God's been telling me. I was just talking about the basic instructions before leaving Earth. That is the Bible, y'all. I'm so grateful when I say I thank God for God, because the way I feel is totally indifferent from where I felt when I was not running with God in my life. I knew of God, but I wasn't a servant for God. I didn't want to hear servant. My mind was locked in that I serve nobody. You feel me? If it makes sense.
Yeah, the wife said you had to find your way to him. Basically.
Right. You still playing for the other team on that at that particular time. You was playing for the other side.
Yeah. And when my peers called me, I was KC, which meant the killer clown, because I always joked in the midst of major tragedies. Always, for real. And then a lot of people, then they called me Chaos, because it can't be peaceful when I came around.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When I heard some of the stories from being in a chaotic mindset, because I don't remember, because I'm smoked out and drinking gin, smoking bud and drinking gin, and we used to drink bumpy heads and chase that with OE, and next thing you know, whatever the night came out to be, it was it.
Yeah.
I remember hitting wet one time and hearing all these stories, and I'm like, and what he did what? And I walk out there and people's like scared of me. But when the Lord seen fit, and he said, I want you to have the same integrity and the same loyalty and the same tenaciousness, but no, I need you on my side.
Right, yeah.
And I will give you peace. I don't know who I'm talking to out there. I'm just telling and testify of a thug used to be,
Yeah.
I was known as,
I was gonna say that when God took you, when he snatched you up out of that, the environment that you was in, when you were doing all that chaos and all that, he chose you. Yeah, he chose you. You know what I mean? And so that's what you got to pay attention to, that he chose you. Don't get me wrong, you got to accept him in your life and in your heart as your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but he chose you, man. And you got to remember that. And what he wants you to do, just as hard as you was going for the devil, he wants you to go just as hard for him. When you was doing all that crazy, go just as hard for God. Just go just as hard for God.
That's confirmation. That's confirmation. We know we was talking about. Oh, go ahead, Big Hank.
No, I was talking about Carl. He got like a model on his arm. What is that? Who is that over there, man? Shit.
I get to spend part of the day with the wife this morning, so I'm super stoked.
Day off today.
lucky son of a gun, man. I understand now. I understand now why you
used to be there. They make a
congratulations. Yes, they do.
Rich and them be like, about time. That's what he said. And so,
congratulations, man. Y'all deserve it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, right now, you guys are talking about how, he chose Roy, to start playing for Roy's team. If it wasn't for this one behind me here on my shoulder, I probably would still be in the same spot that I'm in. She's the one that has kind of, opened that light. And her mom, too, is very big, and her dad is very big. I mean, we pray every night for dinner. Every night.
It is. Come on, man. God knew you needed her in your life. He put her in your life. She's doing exactly what God intended her to do, was to get you to come on his side. And so it's working how it's supposed to work, man. That's your angel on your arm. Remember that, man. That's your angel, man. He sent you an angel.
Yeah, so take care of her.
And we were just talking about that, where that old man, we was talking about it earlier, where the old man, him and his wife been married 50 years, and he told me that he treats her every day like it was the first day of their honeymoon. He told me that was the secret of his longevity.
Wow.
Like I was saying, we've been together 7 years and married for only a couple of months now, and it's had its rocky path. But because like I said, she turned me back on to my walk the way that it was supposed to be. And
Man,
if I wouldn't have been turned on to that walk, I probably would not be here with her today. I would probably be stuck in my old ways, dealing with the devil
But
and not with the Lord.
legally, you've been married for a couple of months as far as the laws, but you've been married for 7 years, and so because it used to be a time where people just jumped the broom and they was considered married.
right.
It's the
Right.
legal people with the paperwork and all that. You know what I'm saying? Woe unto me who don't have nobody for 7 years, that when it do start, I gotta be like, hey, I can't wait no 7 years. The Lord be ready to come back and I'll be in the middle of a fornicating move. I better do it right,
Mhm.
But I look at the changes. My testimony is where, because I wasn't good for anybody
Mhm.
on a personal thing. My mind was based around NWA songs, basically.
Yeah.
I can't even take to get close because it's a contract killer if you ask me to get your nails done. Oh, what? Does it make sense what I'm saying? I
Yes.
didn't give it a chance because I
So
wasn't good, even in the streets.
Yes.
Believe
Yep.
it or not,
yeah.
y'all, I used to hate myself.
So did I.
Growing up, I was the darkest in my family, and I was dark this, dark that. My hair didn't grow curly. So I used to think that I was the most hated thing. That I was treated like that for real. Abuse comes with feelings, smacks, cap, that you black, so and so and so. And so I used to be like, and my brothers and cousins are all light skinned. They would teach literally. Now people will tell you, I joke with it about it now, but I used to have this, and that was beat me up. I was scared to talk to light skinned people because I was beneath them at school. It was my grandmother, and she showed me that the Lord loves me for my complexion.
Mm-hmm.
And for who I was. He don't even look at your complexion. He knows your
Nope.
heart.
That don't even matter to God. He look at your
Yeah,
heart.
he doesn't. Exactly.
He don't care what color you are.
But so I grew up saying, then I'm growing up as a teenager, like, well, I'm down for this. Whoop the wham. Now I'm the aggressor. And I'm like, wow. But you know what? I said all this because, and when the Lord showed me the light in 2007, I'm a comic. I'm a professional comic, but a professional comic doesn't mean I have a straight narrow head going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff I'm saying, I'm going to hell with expedited tickets, right?
I got the
But
keys.
and so I'm new. I'm hearing something. And so for years I'm wondering, like the wilderness of, I know I'm going to do right, but you got to have somebody who you can look at who's doing the same way you doing it, because metal sharpens metal, right? God introduced me to this brother. He don't know how big of a spiritual mentor he's been to me because he walks the walk. Big Hank is the first person who I ever met in my life who was seeing the way I seen God without wearing high water. Now he do wear suits. I tease about suits, but he wears suits and make them stylish and white. But he ain't playing the tambourine and all that up in there. He's not faking. Y'all see him like this? He's like that at church. The preacher be probably, he'd be like, "That right, Doc? Tell him, Doc."
Man, yeah. So I just know that your praise got to match where he brought you from.
And
where he brought me from was a mighty low place, man. And so when I give him my prop, praise him like, man, thank you for bringing me up out of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I give him, man. That's what I do for God.
And Carl, metal sharpens metal. Big Hank ain't
That's
just
right.
talking out the side of his neck. He lets me do most of the talking because it's a Roy show, but he has the wisdom. And if he's telling you, we've been through felonies, you see his face. He has a confidence with the church in the neighborhood. The video's done at the church. That's Pastor Dr. Williams. Them are real people. These ain't no stunt doubles.
Yeah.
And what you're going through.
I was just telling her that you did that video at the church with all those guys are real. They're not. They ain't no
Real,
paid actors. They
Hey,
ain't
look, you
nothing.
really don't
That's
know the
it.
real miracle. You were
real.
Crips and Bloods, bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Them are real
Yeah.
Crips and Bloods.
Real gangsters, man. Carl, I heard you say that you and your wife, y'all, you went through some tough times, and listen to me. Let me tell you this. This is what Jesus said. Jesus said it's gonna be every man, every woman on earth is gonna go through some trials and some tribulations. It's gonna be that.
Mhm.
That's what life is. And but what you did say is that you guys persevered. You hear me?
Mhm.
Y'all still here together, and y'all gonna go through it together. And
Mhm.
that's what marriage is. That's what life is all about. Getting you a partner, man, somebody you can lean on, somebody who can prop you up on your leaning side. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't perfect. So she straighten you up on your leaning side, and where she leaning at, you straighten her up on her leaning side. So both y'all got to lean on each other, man, and pray to God to keep on doing what y'all doing. I'm proud of y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's just like what God wants us to do with him is to submit to him. And when you're ready and when you're being called, and like when you start hearing that whisper, hey, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. We have to, in a marriage, you have to also submit to each other and
Mm-hmm.
also together submit to God, and growth comes from God to be able to flourish and get through those hard times, because without him we won't have the strength, we wouldn't have the faith, we wouldn't have the patience and hope in each other,
Come on,
because it all comes from God.
You talking Bible? Everything you said was scripture. All that was
Yeah.
scripture, man.
Yeah.
What you said,
And I'm
submit
gonna
to
tell
one
you this
another.
right. Go ahead, Hank. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
no,
off. Go ahead.
said it right. No, you
Yeah.
said it right. I was through.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If we hadn't had the fact that he was at the tip of our spear, we probably wouldn't have made it. To be honest,
Yeah,
because those rough times, bro. Those rough times, they were rough.
yeah.
They were rough between the two of
That's
us. With
Yeah.
her living over here and me being 3 hours away for work. Constantly
hard.
traveling. That caused a lot of drama and a lot of BS in our life. But
Yeah.
the fact that
Hard.
we were able to come together and show that the Lord upstairs was the one that put us at the tip of the spear, we've been able to make
Yeah.
it.
Because God
Come on,
doesn't put
man.
you through things that you can't handle. We are his soldiers. We are his warriors. He'll put us through the hard times, and he'll put us through, the good times. But it's the hard times that we grow from and learn where our strength and our capabilities are, and in the guidance of God.
Man, oh man,
I,
that's awesome.
and when I hear marriage, I notice I wasn't interrupting when marriage comes, because my grandmother always said, you take your advice from those who's equal with you. Big Hank was telling you advice because he's married. I can't tell you no advice, but what somebody else who's married told me to tell someone, right? But the main substance, though, is what I see is God. God doesn't make mistakes. That's a
Yep.
pattern. I got a show next Saturday at the American Legion's Big Hank in Long Beach, and that's been my point of view. God don't make mistakes.
Nope.
We make the mistakes. We don't. I heard you say, Kaylin, that small voice be popping up. You know what I'm saying? God don't yell at us.
Yeah.
No.
He'll talk. We want to hear that. Because I used to say, if God, he's a spirit, he could yell out the atmosphere, I'm God, listen to me. But he don't want to do it like that.
No, because he's a
And
loving God.
yeah,
He
and you listen to his voice, and guess what? I remember I have never drove so peacefully in my life since I really got God in my life. There was my time where I was looking around and seeing who the police are seeing some enemy looking at. You feel me? I drive
Mhm.
down like do, looking for traffic. Big Hank been around with me. I got stopped on the tracks one time, and the police. I told the police, hey man, I know I was wrong. I thought the traffic was gonna go. Big Hank, my line. He said, "All right, y'all go on and go." To me, that's a miracle. Thank you, Lord, because I was so out of bounds, and so. But I don't be hungry no more.
Yeah.
I used to be having. You ever had money and don't be hungry, and your money's gone. That's when you hungry in the mud. I
Yeah.
learned for real, Big Hank, because guess what I did? I started investing in my spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
When I give the money, for my tithes and stuff, I'm giving it to God. Now, whatever that man does with it, it is out of my hands.
Yep.
It's in the spirit. But I noticed that when I did that, I ain't never been hungry again. You can go look back at the podcast when I start giving my tithes. I ain't been hungry again. That plenty of meat up in there. I'd be like, Lord, how this happen? But we gave that boy gave me some salad. He gave me some salad cookie and everything. He said, look what God do. And he gave me, shared it with me. I'm crying on the bus with that bag. Couldn't wait to get to that hot grease. Crying. Man, I'm hungry in the mud. Making 1,500 a week, but I'm hungry.
Hey man, God is awesome. You said that God won't come out the sky and say, "Hey, I'm God." He did it before. Remember when Moses had everybody get around the mountain? They said God was gonna come, and he scared the people so much. They said, "We don't want to talk to God no more. You just talk to God. We don't want
Hey,
we don't want to talk to God no more, man, because scare everybody. You scare everybody to death."
Yeah.
So he don't do it that way no more, man. But you're right.
He'll grab your attention.
Yeah,
he'll grab your attention, but you got to listen. You got to have the heart to listen.
Yeah,
and the crazy thing is her confirmation is the numbers 333. They say that's it's the angel's answer. She'll literally talk about something, and I've looked this up on Google, and she'll talk about something, and she'll be like, "Oh, I wonder if I should do that." Oh, hey, honey, guess what? Today I seen a license plate that was AVP 333. Or she'll and that's her confirmation every time. That number is all up in her life. I've seen it, and then I've seen what she's talking about come true or fall through like it's not meant to be, like it's like a shot in the dark kind of thing.
But see,
and she'll put her faith in it.
With God. Everything it's impossible to man, but it's all possible with God. See, there were times I should not be alive. Big Hank should not be alive. I mean, literally, if you go by the statistics, we should not be alive. But the grace of God, we don't earn it. That's the thing about grace. A lot of people, they say grace this, grace that. They don't even know what the definition of grace means. You didn't earn it. It's an unmerited favor.
Not by nothing you did.
Nothing you did, because if you got paid for what you did, I'm going to hell.
All of it.
But the blood of Jesus washed me up, and now guess what? Guess what makes me feel bad now? When I do something and I know that's against the blood, that He forgave me of sins, and I'm a loyal individual, so I beat myself up because you done did this so much for me, and I turned around and did you like that. See, I'm a loyal individual. If you down for me, I'm down with you. We deal with the outcome afterwards because God has our soul. But now, when here's Jesus, I know He died on the cross for my sins, but every time I do something that's contrary, it makes me feel bad. Even though I know He forgive me, I feel bad because, dude, Jesus, you done did more. You did more for me by giving me an opportunity. And everything He say, I heard y'all say, everything God say He'll do, Caitlin, and you and somebody else, and they come, that's a confirmation. Somebody come and say, God told me to tell you this and that. That's a liar. Because God's not the author of confusion. He's going to tell you first, and then somebody else comes in, and then they'll say something. You say, whoa, it'll shake you in your soul. You know you've been right. So the biggest purpose for me is that I didn't talk like this 10 years ago or so, but I'm so glad I'm talking like this now, because
I didn't talk like this 7 years ago.
And He didn't tell me to get weak. He didn't tell me to be no soft cotton candy cat. He said, bro, I made you in my image, and we bold, we real, we strong. My grandfather said God only put on you what He knows you can bear. If you think
that's what Caitlin just said. He won't put more on you than you can bear.
And if you can bear it and smile, He says in the word, laugh at your infirmities, because the one who has you, you know that He's going to take care of it. I'm gonna tell you something before we get off. I was going through a little money struggle thing again, right? Just something real minor. And I said, Lord, I got this bill. Then I said, wait a minute. I said, excuse me, Lord, we got this bill. I involved him with it.
Yes,
and guess
sir.
what? It was taken care of.
Just
So
like
from
that.
now on, I've been saying, Lord, I know you know, but we got this car payment.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, because he said that if an evil man would give to his kids, what do you think God is going to do for us?
Yes, sir.
I didn't ask him to help me with buying some peas, some pounds, and some this and that. I said, Lord, my rent, Lord, my kid. And guess what? It was happening when I involved him. Lord,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna put him as my whole get down. Hey, Lord, we got an electricity bill due.
Mm-hmm.
He's involved with it because Caitlin, you said he lives in us.
Mm-hmm.
He's living through us. So
Yep.
you know what? I thank God that no matter who we are, what the society say, we this and that, gangsters and non-gangsters, hills, whatever. We got one common goal, and that's God. And right
Yep.
now, this shows it. No matter what walk of life, I believe in the spiritual God that gave me grace and salvation through his son, Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
who was raised up from the grave. And I admit this, and he's alive forevermore. And the word of God tells me you shall be saved. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that. Anybody else on this believe that?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's on the right hand of Jesus.
You
On
can't
the right
believe
hand.
it. Caitlin,
He's
you
on the right
believe
hand
it?
of God right here.
Yep.
Carl, you believe it?
100%.
Man, look at that. If God ain't with us, where two or three is gathered together, touching and agreeing,
That's
the
where
world
he
mad
is,
at
right?
us. We gonna get some afflictions because they can't stand the ones who's doing right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Take your advice from Big Hank and your parents. They've been there a long time. You got 3 boys. They're gonna be one to have a little love, life, and nature. You
Yes,
feel
sir.
me? And you're gonna have to back that up. Hey man, I got love for y'all. This is our last. We're about to close it out of here. Me and Big Hank, I told him we'll be discussing what we're gonna do next, but we won't be doing nothing on Tuesdays because that's God's words that needs to be pushed out for real. I'm proud of him doing that. Whatever
Yes,
we're
Heck
sir.
gonna
yeah,
do,
buddy.
I love working with J Dub. I was thinking about bringing out the music, J Dub, and what you said the other name? What's his name?
High
G
tech.
High Tech.
Yeah, Josh
Tell him High
Kaiser.
Tech what's up, man. We was all on the video last time I was with WO, and Carl and um just said his name, not
J Dub.
J Dub. He came
Yeah.
on and him, J Dub and Just Me reminds me of each other.
Oh, they're
They got
definitely alike.
that witty humor and stuff like that. They quick on their feet. I love that. Okay, man. Any last words, Big Hank?
Man, you know me, man. I'm just gonna hit you with Galatians 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. That's the good and the bad. So sow some good. Start sowing more good. Do you sow bad? You get it coming back.
Yeah.
That part. Miss Caitlin, last words for us.
um, Last words. I'd say with going with scripture, no matter how heavy the chains are and the tribulations and trials that you're going through, just remember that those chains can be released by just giving it to God, and he will break those chains for you. And you will, once you submit to him, you will feel his love run through your body, and it'll be like you're missing him all your life.
Word. Mr. Carl.
Teacher, man.
Yeah.
She is. She's the one that taught me how to walk again. I'll tell you that right now. Her and her folks did,
That's
because
righteous.
it was black on my end for a long time.
Hey man,
Just
you
like
So,
got that
my
glow
dark
on your
moment
face
too.
too, Carl. Y'all sit there. Y'all look like when you go buy a picture frame and there's somebody's picture already there.
For real,
Go ahead,
man.
Carl.
For
What's your
real.
last words, bro?
I say this all the time. Be good to each other and be good to yourself. Remember that God is real, and if you have problems, look up to him. And also pointed at the veteran community. Doesn't matter what race you are in the veteran community, we'd rather listen to you for 2 hours then 30 minutes at your funeral. And just remember
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, if all of us can get together and have a conversation on different aspects, remember that it's a conversation, not a confrontation. Don't divide
Come
yourself
on,
because
man.
don't divide yourself, bro, because you know, one guy's Latino, one guy's Haitian, one guy's Asian, one guy's black, one guy's white, one guy's green. Don't divide yourself. Come to a common ground and trust in the Lord and believe in Him.
Yeah, because we're all the same.
We're all the
in
same
it
on
in
the
this life.
inside. We all have, you know, hearts. We all have minds. We all bleed the same color.
Man, you know what? I thank the Lord for that because it seemed like I feel like my show has gotten through. Y'all been talking just what we're telling everybody. Me and Big Hank, when we first came with this, we wanted to talk to some of the Aryan Nation and the KKK members. We want, not saying y'all, well, I'm just saying we want to talk to let them know it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. 'Cause
Yeah.
if we don't communicate with each other, it's hard to understand each other, and we can let the enemy tell us things that is nothing like us. How did we get to know each other? And so somebody told me, say, hey man, I really didn't know how homies from the hood act until I get to hear you and Big Hank. And we give them a different philosophy because the movies and the TVs want you to see a particular look. The media wants to keep us separated and divided. When we got the same issues at hand, we want to take care of our families. We want to see our kids grow and don't be scared and stuff like that. We want peace within our household. Yeah, some arguments gonna come, but you don't want nobody coming around shooting up your family and chopping people's arms. You feel what I'm saying? Something so tragedy. God keeps us protected from that. Have you noticed that? Really have God. We don't see a lot of this horrific situations occurring. And if it do, it's to get our attention about something. You know, it happened in my family. You know, when my brother got murdered, him and two nephews and my sister-in-law and the perpetrator died on the scene. They wasn't discovered until 4 or 5 days later. So their bodies, it was one of the most horrific scenes. And sometimes it constantly jumps out at me, right? I don't like to live in the past, but sometimes it becomes a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? But I don't be perplexed. And it's like Big Hank said, you know, my scripture, Ephesians 3:20, to whom can give you exceedingly abundantly more than you can ask or think from the power inside of you. Like Big Hank said, if you plant hate, you're going to receive hate. You plant love, you're going to get love. Y'all doing the right thing. Bless your household. Tell your family, your parents, Caitlin, got much love and respect for them. And thank you for understanding, because we constantly wear for the president, but sometimes if us families stick together and work together, we can control the neighborhood, and then that's our city, our state, and goes on and on. Don't see men as too prideful sometimes. I don't want to live under my in-laws. I want to have my own. But guess what? God has a time. Because sometimes we gotta humble ourselves. You ever seen the car? I'm gonna get off here. The little car the kids have, and they bring it backwards and they let it go, and it goes forward real fast. God blesses you at a reason to learn, because then when He give you yours, you'll know how to do with it. You know, I'm out of here, man. God bless y'all. Much love.
Same to you, brother.
Family. Love to you and your family and stuff. And
I'll get that box and I'll video call you, man. We're super stoked for it.
And Miss Caitlin, it'll be there, but don't judge me. I try to get the best gift, but I don't know how to get wedding gifts, and I wanted to pick it out myself. Nobody
it's
gave
all
me no
good. I love whatever it is.
Okay, thank y'all. And so once you get it, you got to hit me up on the messenger call, so that way I can then put it on Facebook and show.
I will, bro. I will.
Okay, thanks, bro.
I will.
Love to y'all. We'll figure out how we'll be doing more podcasts on a different network. I think Richie's working that out.
Okay, cool, man. We're super stoked.
All right, for sure. Love y'all. God bless, man. We out.
Love you too, buddy.
Last season, y'all. Last day. God bless everyone. Peace.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and Friends Show. Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?